Yep. Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday. I think we got the day right. We've been a little discombobulated all week long. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol, so AKA Naughty Boss, live with two
sisters. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janice, AKA Wellness Diva 5.0. Excuse me. No, we are not live on our Facebook page, obviously. So when you see this or hear it, it will be re-recorded. You know, technology has a funny way of keeping us captive. And when things don't work out, I'm just going to come out and say it because this is pre-recorded and maybe I can bleep it out, is fucking ridiculous. But what are you going to do, right? Yeah. Anyways, Trending Thursday. So that's what's trending for us. There's been well, we know I definitely have a problem with my laptop. We already knew that, but it's like, why does this stuff happen? It's just so frustrating. And it just goes to show you how much, obviously, that we rely on our electronic devices and the apps that support us to do what we love to do. So that's my rant.
Well, and it really wasn't a bad rant. I mean, and it could be, I know that Zoom's going through some updates and whatnot. And I find it funny that it seems like it happens during usually the morning, because usually, you know, after we do our podcast, I do things that I have to do. And then I'm on, you know, Zooms with clients or customers or, you know, other Zooms that I'm involved with, and we don't have that issue or, you know, so I think it's something internally with Zoom myself or the time of day. I have no idea. But whatever it is, we had to navigate through it yet again. And that's what we will continue to do because we've got things that we want to share with all of you. And when we go through things, we can help you kind of navigate through that frustration because it is frustrating. You know, we both have very busy schedules. And so what we're deciding to do is that we're going to like attempt the whole process a little bit earlier to allow that we are not condensing our podcast because we're on a time crunch if we have other obligations and or appointments like everybody else. Everyone's busy, right? But anyways, it's Trending Thursday. So I've got a little nugget of things that are trending right now. As most people are listening to, and if you had not watched the news yesterday, and I didn't watch the news, I actually got clips where, you know, that we've been chatting constantly about what's going on in school committees, local school districts across the board, really across the United States. And this surge of awareness from parents, taxpayers, caregivers, stakeholders in wanting to know what type of curriculum their child was being taught, along with all this added inserts of theories, SEL, which is social emotional learning, CSE, comprehensive sex education, and they are all little by little are all intertwined and overlap each other. And a lot of people don't realize that the CRT has branches, and all these branches kind of not mirror, but overlap. And when you introduce one, you're really introducing the whole package. So think of it this way. How many times have you gone to some sort of event where you were learning about maybe a timeshare or learning about buying a product, and they give you like an introductory special? Well, this is kind of like and then later you realize, oh my God, now, you know, 3 months later, I've got to join this, or I've got to add this. Everything's a la carte. Now I gotta buy this bigger piece to it. That's kind of the analogy that I'm going to use with you regarding CRT. So many school districts are slowly implementing this SEL. Matter of fact, that's really the core piece. If your school district or state is not blatant enough to just come right out with CRT. Now, in the state of Massachusetts, they blatantly come out in different districts, Worcester District, Wellesley, and Holden, a few other districts within the state of Massachusetts have gone like just jumped in, like just have dived over the, you know, the cliff, have jumped off the mountain with CRT, where some other districts are nibbling at it. So they're nibbling with SEL, which is social emotional learning, which really tries to get into the psyche of a child's mind, of what they feel, of their interpretation of what they feel. They get them to do surveys. They want to know if they're under stress. Are they identifying with themselves as a boy? Do they prefer to kiss a girl, or a boy kiss another boy? Like, there's all these intertwining things. In addition to that, a lot of local school committees have been insinuating and ensuing and infiltrating, pandering, pushing a mask mandate, which is under the guise of DESE, which is the Department of Secondary School within Massachusetts. Now, what occurs with that is you have two different bodies. You have an administrative body that falls under the DESE guidelines. That would include school time, students, teachers, whatever. So then you have that. Then, of course, you have the teachers union, which that's another shista show. Well, the school committee is an elected body. So when they host a meeting, right, they can actually host a meeting anywhere because they're under basically under a municipal, I can never say the word, municipality, whatever the word is. I think I said it right that time. And so anyways, because they're elected officials, they are elected officials. They are not they're a separate entity from school administration. They're a separate entity from DESE. There is a National School Association, which, as we well know, has been causing ruckus across the United States with the DOJ, and they're partnering up with the White House to, in fact, label parents, caregivers, stakeholders, grandparents, taxpayers as domestic terrorists. So that has been going out since then. The National Association of School Committees has backed off on that because they're getting a lot of flack from it, because people and parents and taxpayers and caregivers, grandparents want to and have a right to know what their child is being influenced under, in what kind of curriculum. And they're keeping a school committee who oversees what goes on in check, being accountable. It'd be no different if you were a stockholder in a corporation. You have stockholder meetings. Well, you want to make sure that, you know, the corporation is running to the stockholders' beliefs and or how they bought in. And if they're not, they have to be held accountable. So there's no difference in that. The big thing that's trending, and this whole thing gets to what's trending, is they're pushing a mandate that is mandated by DESE as a for the school, not the school committee, for the school. And since the school committee is an elected body, they do not fall under the guise of a DESE, under the Department of Secondary Education. DESE has no governance over them whatsoever. So what we're finding out is we have it on good authority from other school committee members who have contacted DESE and said, well, wait a minute, we understand that you're pushing, you know, this mandate, and they've extended the mandate. Now, in the state of Massachusetts, the emergency pandemic help with relief expired on June 15th, has not been renewed, because we know we're not in a pandemic anymore. We haven't been in a pandemic since June. The numbers just don't support it. Yet they keep pushing this mandate of masks as if we're in the height of the pandemic. So what did this state do? This very liberal state, what did they do? They extended it to January 15th, 2022. So it has now been, and we have the stats on how long they've been in masks, which I believe at this point has been over 70 days, mandated within the school system. So they're wearing a mask for over 40 hours a week. So put that into perspective. A student is wearing a mask for 40 plus hours, in addition to wearing the mask on the bus. So think about that. Now, DESE does have, the local school districts they don't have to comply. They choose to comply, but they don't have to. The consequences are the dangling carrots. And I'm wearing that orange bright color today because I'm thinking carrots. And they're money carrots, because when you always follow the money, you understand why people vote, have an opinion, push an agenda, because it's rooted by the power of money or whatever dangling carrots that are being dangled, which in the state of Massachusetts and across the United States, there's a lot of federal, state COVID money dangling carrots going on. So obviously, in order to get the money, They want you, the district, to comply. So the school complies with DESE in this manner. However, the school committee doesn't fall under that. So what we're finding out is we found out from other school committee members who've been very vocal and or supportive of making the public aware, not this particular district that I'm working with or not agreeing with, but these other school committees outside of that, but are still in the state of Massachusetts, who in fact have called DESE, and DESE says, no, we don't govern you. You don't have to, push our mandate on your meetings and the public. This has to do with the schools, not the school committee, because they're two separate entities. So we're waiting for clarification, but what's trending is parents are now contacting the school committees and asking the question. And it's a dereliction of duty, because the response that I just received says they got to check with the superintendent. But the way the chain of command works is the superintendent is hired with a contract that the school committee needs to negotiate and approve. The superintendent reports to the school committee. But yet the school committee, I don't know, we're pushing the mandate because I don't know, the superintendent told us to do it. Now, is that not hypocrisy at its worst? And the only reason why this really came to light is because in this particular district, they actually hosted a town meeting this 2 nights ago. So two nights, what's today? Today's Thursday. So on Tuesday, it might've been Monday, they hosted a town meeting, because this is a district, so there's 2 towns. They hosted a town meeting at the same building that school committee meetings are often also held at. This was also held at night. And ironically, miraculously, 90% of that town that showed up and or board members were not wearing masks. They were maskless. And the same superintendent was also there, maskless. So what is it? You pick and choose which meeting a mandate applies to. So that's what's trending on this Thursday, Trending Thursday from my end. What is trending on your end, Jan?
Well, what I will say about the word mandate is, I think there's a lot of buyer's remorse going on. And I know for a fact someone who has to teach the CRT and doesn't want to. So guess what? Those of you that are having buyer's remorse, I don't want to say I told you so. I would never do that. But I hope that your hatred of probably one of the best presidents that we've ever had, and I'm speaking of President Trump, in my opinion, to this point, best president we ever had. Did I like everything that President Trump did? No. But damn it, he loved this country enough to fight for not only myself, but for everybody else. So I'll just leave it at that, because I'm getting hot under the collar. You don't want to fire me up right now. So I guess that's what's trending. Do not fire me up.
Here you go. I mean, it's that simple. And what I think it does is teaches people that they have to stop being complacent and spoiled, because I think this country is very complacent and spoiled. And what I mean by that is, we talk about that. You be the trendsetter. Don't wait for some actor. Don't wait for some politician. Don't wait for some artist. You go out being in the trends, be the trendsetter, because I think we've become lazy. Like, we depend on other people to provide us the answers. We provide on electronics to give us instant gratification and instant answers, instead of doing some homework and research ourselves, as well as we sit on the couch. We're a lazy American. And I think what's firing up is they awakened the wrong demographics of human beings, because the one demographic for most, not all, but for most, is parents, because most parents, you remember the phrase, the helicopter parent? Well, in some regards, I'd rather have the helicopter parent than the ones that are sitting on the couch and letting all the other parents do all the hard work to find this information out and what's going on in their districts. The point being is, you got to have a happy medium, number one. but you are shaping the individuals that are going to lead our country, that might hold positions of leadership within a community, from a local level, state level, and or federal level. You may be actually molding the next CEO. You may be molding the next director in movies. You may be molding the next president of the United States. You don't know, but the point is you are your first child's teacher. And part of that means accountability and responsibility in knowing when they leave your realm, when they leave the comfort of your home, who are they influenced by? Who is teaching them? What subject matters they're teaching them? Are they indoctrinating them into a theory of those that are actually doing more harm than good, that will change the heart and mind of your child? It is not their obligation, but guess what? It's yours. So get off that couch, start going to meetings, start emailing your school committee and find out this information. And if you don't like what your child is coming home with, if you find out that they're doing secret surveys, which that's another thing we found out, surveys, which it's secret in the sense of they are available, but you really have to like jump through hoops to get the information. And a lot of parents, because they trust the system to like send their child off on that bus and I'm done for the day till 3 o'clock. That building's got my kid. Well, you got to stop doing that. You have to understand that they may be filling out surveys that you're not privy to, and that you can't even actually log in, that you don't even have the password. Those are things that you need to find out, because there's a lot of shifting going on within these schools, and it all leads back to, it starts at the funnel way down. So it's an open funnel here. And as you narrow up, you see it leads to one set of ideologies. And I can tell you that color is not red.
And on that note, Trending Thursday, this is a way to always get your voice to be heard. If you're passionate about a subject, start a podcast. Share your voice, share your passion, and don't take things for granted, meaning mandates should not be. We all know that. And perhaps maybe to a certain point, we've talked that to death. I personally hate the word. But on that note, let your voice be heard. Be seen. Do your part. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and where am I? King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, with TwoSistas.
And this is Carol, so aka Naughty Boss. We are live. You're going to be seeing us on a replay, but we are live and we're ready to kick off Trending Thursday with being trendsetters ourselves. You never know what's going to come throughout the day. And we will see you tomorrow for Fantabulous Friday. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.